power projects. Africa's economies are growing fast, but between 1 and 4 percentage points of GDP annually are lost to power outages. An estimated $30 billion in annual investment is needed from 2015 to 2030 to achieve universal electricity access. A myriad of obstacles, including pricing and regulation, also need to be overcome in order to reach that milestone. The private sector is critical for increasing access to power. Many countries have yet to establish a hospitable regulatory environment to attract the needed investment. But others are excelling, attracting investment and growing their power sectors at a rapid rate. Kenya is a great example. Between 2013 and 2015, it more than doubled electricity access to 55%. The same achievement took about 8 years in the United States. Kenya has an ambitious goal to reach 95% access by 2020, far above the region's current average of 23% access. So far, Kenya is on track to get there, and independent power projects are playing a vital role. Many other countries are also aggressively pursuing IPPs. In the 5 years from 2010 to 2015, Sub-Saharan Africa's power generation increased from 95 gigawatts to 115 gigawatts. Large portions of that increase came from the private sector. That trend is growing fast. 50% of the continent's IPP power capacity came online between 2009 and 2013. Obsolete, underpowered infrastructure pushed Nigerian lawmakers to pass a privatization reform in 2005. The first IPP was already operational since 2001. Now, the majority of the country's power comes from the private sector. There are also abundant opportunities for private actors in transmission and distribution. In many countries, we're starting to see more synergies between upstream and power. The Azura Edo IPP in Nigeria is an example of the new breed of gas-to-power projects. Privately funded by a large consortium and private equity, with a strong role for local E&P company Seplat, which is making a $300 million investment in new gas processing facilities. Indigenous companies, especially in Nigeria, are aggressively pursuing opportunities in the gas sector to meet power needs. Governments will, of course, still play a hugely important role in power, from developing attractive regulatory frameworks to providing funding, issuing guarantees, and building their own projects. Governments and state utilities have provided around 50% of funding for power projects since 1990. Lighting Africa is no small feat, and it requires more than big investments. It needs cooperation on a massive scale.